Question 1. A Scrum team is consistently failing to meet its sprint commitments, despite thorough sprint planning. Which Scrum event is the most appropriate place to discuss and address these recurring issues? A. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint Review. C. Sprint Retrospective. D. Backlog Refinement. Answer: C. Sprint Retrospective. The Sprint Retrospective is a dedicated event for the Scrum team to inspect itself and create a plan for improvements to be enacted during the next sprint. This event specifically focuses on process improvement, team dynamics, tools, and relationships, making it the ideal forum to address recurring issues like failing to meet sprint commitments. For example, the team might discuss if their estimates are inaccurate or if they are taking on too much work. Remember that the retrospective is all about continuous improvement and adapting processes to enhance future performance. Question 2. During an Agile project, a key stakeholder frequently requests changes that are not aligned with the current product vision. How should the product owner primarily address this situation? A. Reject all changes to maintain the product vision. B. Add all requested changes to the product backlog for future consideration. C. Collaborate with the stakeholder to understand the underlying need and align it with the product vision, or explain the impact on value. D. Escalate the issue to the project sponsor for a decision. Answer: C. Collaborate with the stakeholder to understand the underlying need and align it with the product vision, or explain the impact on value. The product owner is responsible for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team. This includes actively managing the product backlog and engaging with stakeholders. When faced with misaligned change requests, the product owner should collaborate to understand the true need behind the request, then work to either align it with the product vision or clearly communicate the trade-offs and impact on value delivery if the change were to be incorporated. For instance, explaining how a specific change might delay the delivery of higher priority features helps the stakeholder understand the context. Always strive to balance stakeholder needs with the overarching product vision and business value. Question 3. A new team member joins an existing Agile project that uses a Kanban approach. Which of the following is the most important principle for this new team member to understand regarding workflow? A. The importance of adhering strictly to the initial project plan. B. How to maximize individual utilization for efficiency. C. The necessity of pulling work only when capacity allows. D. The benefit of completing personal tasks before collaborating. Answer: C. The necessity of pulling work only when capacity allows. A core principle of Kanban is to limit work in progress, WIP, and pull work. This means that new work is only pulled into a stage when there is capacity available in that stage, preventing bottlenecks and optimizing flow. The new team member needs to understand that they don't just pick up the next task, they wait for a signal that the previous stage is complete and their stage has capacity. For example, a developer won't start coding a new feature until the analysis for the previous feature is complete and moved to the development ready column. Focusing on pulling work maintains a smooth, sustainable flow and avoids overwhelming the system. Question 4. An Agile team has just completed a sprint, and the product owner inspects the increment. The product owner determines that some completed features do not meet the expected business value. What is the most appropriate next step for the product owner? A. Ask the team to fix the issues immediately before the sprint review. B. Accept the increment as is and adjust the product backlog for future sprints. C. Collaborate with the team during the sprint review to discuss the increment and determine what to do next. D. Reject the increment and ask the team to redo the work in the next sprint. Answer: C. Collaborate with the team during the sprint review to discuss the increment and determine what to do next. The sprint review is the event where the Scrum team and stakeholders collaborate on what was done in the sprint and what has changed in their environment. Based on this, attendees collaborate on what to do next. If features don't meet expected business value, the product owner presents this observation during the sprint review, fostering a discussion with the team and stakeholders to refine the product backlog and plan for future sprints. For example, they might decide to reprioritize, refine, or even discard certain features based on new insights. This collaborative inspection and adaptation is crucial for maximizing value and responsiveness. Question 5. Which of the following best describes the primary goal of a Scrum Master in an Agile project? A. To manage the team's tasks and ensure they meet deadlines. B. To act as a servant leader, facilitating the team and removing impediments. C. To define the product vision and manage the product backlog. D. To conduct all technical work and ensure code quality. Answer: B. To act as a servant leader, facilitating the team and removing impediments. The Scrum Master serves the Scrum team, the product owner, and the organization. Their primary goal is not to manage tasks or define the product, but rather to foster an environment where the team can be effective and self-organizing. This involves coaching the team in self-management and cross-functionality, helping to remove obstacles that hinder the team's progress, and facilitating Scrum events. For example, if the team is blocked by a lack of access to a specific tool, the Scrum Master works to resolve that. Think of the Scrum Master as a facilitator and coach, ensuring the team can operate efficiently and adhere to Scrum principles. Question 6. A project manager is transitioning a traditional team to an Agile approach. The team is struggling with the concept of self-organization. What is the most effective approach for the project manager to foster self-organization? A. Assign tasks to each team member to ensure clarity and accountability. B. Implement strict rules and processes for decision-making within the team. C. Coach the team on Agile principles, provide a safe environment for experimentation, and gradually empower them to make decisions. D. Appoint a team lead to delegate responsibilities and oversee progress. Answer: C. Coach the team on Agile principles, provide a safe environment for experimentation, and gradually empower them to make decisions. Self-organization is a cornerstone of Agile methodologies, where teams determine the best way to accomplish their work rather than being directed. To foster this, a project manager, acting as a servant leader, should educate the team on Agile values, create a psychological safety net for trying new approaches and even failing, and progressively hand over decision-making authority regarding how they approach their work. For instance, instead of assigning tasks, the project manager might guide the team to discuss and volunteer for tasks themselves. Empowering the team slowly helps them build confidence and capability in managing their own work. Question 7. An Agile team is experiencing consistent issues with the quality of their deliverables, leading to rework and delays. Which Agile practice is specifically designed to prevent defects and ensure quality from the outset? A. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint Review. C. Definition of Done, DoD. D. Product Backlog Refinement. Answer: C. Definition of Done, DoD. The definition of Done, DoD, is a formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product. It provides a shared understanding of what it means for work to be complete and ensures transparency regarding the quality expectations of the increment. For example, a DoD might include code reviewed, automated tests passed, and documentation updated. By adhering to a robust DoD, teams build quality in from the start, significantly reducing the likelihood of rework and improving the overall integrity of the product. Question 8. In an Agile project, the team determines that a critical risk event has occurred, potentially impacting the ability to deliver the next increment. What is the most appropriate immediate action for the Agile team to take? A. Document the risk in a formal risk register and escalate it to the project sponsor. B. Halt all work until a detailed risk mitigation plan is developed and approved. C. Discuss the impact during the daily Scrum and adapt the sprint backlog if necessary. D. Reprioritize the entire product backlog to avoid the affected features. Answer: C. Discuss the impact during the daily Scrum and adapt the sprint backlog if necessary. The daily Scrum is a 15-minute event for the development team to synchronize activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours, inspecting progress toward the sprint goal and adapting the sprint backlog as needed. When a critical risk event occurs, discussing its immediate impact on the sprint goal and the team's ability to deliver the increment during the daily Scrum allows for rapid adaptation of the sprint backlog. For example, if a key team member is unexpectedly unavailable, the team might redistribute tasks or adjust the scope for the day. This promotes quick communication and immediate problem solving within the team, aligning with Agile's emphasis on fast feedback and adaptation. Question 9. What is the primary purpose of the product backlog in Scrum? A. To serve as a comprehensive, unchanging list of all project requirements. B. To document all technical specifications for the development team. C. To provide an ordered list of everything that might be needed in the product. D. To track the progress of the sprint and team velocity. Answer: C. To provide an ordered list of everything that might be needed in the product. The product backlog is an emergent, ordered list of what is needed to improve the product. It is dynamic, constantly evolving as new insights emerge and priorities shift, and serves as the single source of work to be done by the Scrum team. For instance, new features, bug fixes, non-functional requirements, and research are all items that could be on the product backlog, ordered by value, risk, and dependencies. The product backlog is foundational for transparency and ensuring the team is always working on the most valuable items. Question 10. An Agile team is struggling with frequent interruptions from stakeholders directly asking team members for updates or new features. How can the product owner best address this situation while maintaining transparency and collaboration? A. Instruct the team members to politely refuse direct stakeholder requests and refer them to the product owner. B. Schedule more frequent formal meetings with stakeholders to address their concerns. C. Facilitate regular sprint reviews and ensure all stakeholder communication and requests are channeled through the product owner. D. Create a detailed communication plan that restricts all stakeholder interactions to written reports. Answer: C. Facilitate regular sprint reviews and ensure all stakeholder communication and requests are channeled through the product owner. The product owner is the single point of contact and authority for the product backlog and its ordering, serving as a liaison between the stakeholders and the development team. By facilitating regular sprint reviews, the product owner creates a transparent forum for stakeholders to inspect the increment and provide feedback, ensuring their input is considered within the structured Agile flow. Simultaneously, the product owner should educate stakeholders to channel all requests and questions through them, protecting the team from distractions and allowing them to focus on delivery. For example, if a stakeholder asks a developer about a new feature, the developer should direct them to the product owner for discussion and potential backlog inclusion. This approach maintains collaboration while protecting the team's focus. Question 11. Which of the following is a primary characteristic of a high-performing Agile team? A. Strict adherence to a detailed, upfront project plan. B. Individual specialization and siloed work efforts. C. Cross-functional members with collective ownership. D. Focus on maximizing individual output over team collaboration. Answer: C. Cross-functional members with collective ownership. A hallmark of high-performing Agile teams is their cross-functional nature, meaning they possess all the skills necessary to create value without relying on external entities, and their collective ownership of the work. This fosters collaboration and ensures that the team as a whole is responsible for delivering the increment, rather than individuals being solely accountable for isolated components. For instance, developers, testers, and business analysts work closely together on the same user stories, sharing knowledge and helping each other to complete the work. This collective ownership promotes flexibility, reduces bottlenecks, and builds a stronger, more resilient team. Question 12. A project manager new to Agile wants to understand how to measure progress in a sprint. Which Agile artifact provides a visual representation of the work remaining in a sprint? A. Product backlog. B. Sprint backlog. C. Burn down chart. D. velocity chart. Answer, C, burn-down chart. A burn-down chart is a graphical representation of the work remaining versus time. In the context of a sprint, the sprint burn-down chart typically shows the amount of work left to be done in a sprint, helping the team and stakeholders visualize progress towards the sprint goal. For example, it might show story points remaining or hours remaining over the duration of the sprint. It provides a quick, visual way to assess whether the team is on track to complete the sprint commitment, highlighting trends and potential issues early. Question 13. What is the primary purpose of the definition of ready in Agile? A. To ensure that all team members are present and prepared for the daily Scrum. B. To establish criteria that an item must meet before it can be pulled into a sprint. C. To confirm that the product owner is ready to accept the increment at the sprint review. D. To define when the team is ready to release the product to the market. Answer, B. To establish criteria that an item must meet before it can be pulled into a sprint. While not a formal part of the Scrum Guide, many Agile teams use a definition of ready door to ensure that product backlog items are sufficiently refined and clear before being selected for a sprint. This helps prevent misunderstandings, reduces rework, and ensures the development team has all the necessary information to start working effectively on an item. For example, a door might require that a user story has acceptance criteria defined, dependencies identified, and is small enough to be completed within a sprint. Establishing clarity upfront improves the team's efficiency and ability to deliver value. Question 14. An Agile team is consistently struggling with accurately estimating the effort for complex user stories. What is a common Agile estimation technique that can help improve accuracy and team consensus? A. Expert judgment. B. Analogous estimating. C. Planning poker. D. Three-point estimating. Answer, C. Planning poker. Planning poker is a consensus-based estimation technique commonly used in Agile, especially Scrum, to estimate the effort or relative size of user stories. Team members use numbered cards, often Fibonacci sequence, to privately bid their estimates, then reveal them simultaneously. This process facilitates discussion, uncovers assumptions, and helps the team converge on a more accurate collective estimate. For example, if estimates vary widely, the team discusses the reasoning behind their bids until a consensus is reached, leading to a shared understanding and improved accuracy. Question 15. In a large organization adopting Agile, several Scrum teams are working on interdependent components of a single product. Which Agile scaling framework principle emphasizes regular synchronization and cross-team communication? A. Decentralized decision-making. B. Inspect and adapt at scale. C. Scrum of Scrums or similar synchronization events. D. Continuous integration and deployment. Answer, C. Scrum of Scrums or similar synchronization events. When multiple Scrum teams are working on interdependent components, effective synchronization and cross-team communication become critical to manage dependencies and ensure overall product integration. Frameworks like Scrum of Scrums are specifically designed to facilitate this, providing a forum where representatives from each team can discuss progress, impediments, and dependencies. For instance, if Team A needs an API from Team B to complete their work, this meeting ensures that dependency is communicated and tracked. This principle ensures alignment and minimizes integration issues across larger Agile initiatives. Question 16. A newly formed Agile team is exhibiting signs of being in the storming stage of team development, Tuckman stages. As a Scrum Master, what is the most appropriate action to help the team progress? A. Assign clear roles and responsibilities to avoid conflict. B. Allow conflicts to resolve naturally without intervention. C. Facilitate open communication, coach conflict resolution techniques, and help the team establish norms. D. Remove any team members who are causing conflict to restore harmony. Answer, C. Facilitate open communication, coach conflict resolution techniques, and help the team establish norms. In the storming stage, team members often experience conflict as they vie for positions, clarify roles, and express differing opinions. The Scrum Master, acting as a servant leader, should actively facilitate healthy conflict resolution by encouraging open dialogue, coaching team members on communication skills, and helping the team establish clear working agreements or norms. For example, the Scrum Master might suggest a facilitated session to discuss team expectations and decision-making processes. This guidance helps the team navigate disagreements constructively and move towards the norming stage. Question 17. The primary benefit of using a lean approach in project management is to A. Maximize resource utilization across all project activities. B. Eliminate waste and maximize value for the customer. C. Ensure strict adherence to predefined project baselines. D. Front-load planning to minimize late changes. Answer: B. Eliminate waste and maximize value for the customer. Lean thinking, originating from the Toyota production system, focuses intensely on identifying and eliminating anything that does not add value to the customer, which is considered waste. By removing waste and focusing on delivering what the customer truly values, Lean aims to maximize value creation. For example, minimizing excessive documentation, unnecessary meetings, or defects are ways to eliminate waste and deliver value more efficiently. This core principle underpins many Agile practices, promoting efficient delivery and customer satisfaction. Question 18. An Agile project has just completed its sprint review, where stakeholders provided critical feedback on the increment. What is the immediate next event for the Scrum team to undertake? A. Sprint planning. B. Daily Scrum. C. Sprint retrospective. D. Product backlog refinement. Answer: C. Sprint retrospective. In Scrum, the sprint review is followed immediately by the sprint retrospective. The sprint retrospective is a crucial opportunity for the Scrum team to inspect how the last sprint went with regard to individuals, interactions, processes, and tools, and to plan improvements. Feedback from the sprint review, including any challenges encountered or new insights, can directly inform the discussions during the retrospective. For example, if the team found it hard to integrate a certain feature, they would discuss why and how to improve their integration process in the retrospective. This sequence ensures continuous learning and adaptation. Question 19. A product owner is prioritizing the product backlog for an Agile project. Which of the following factors should be given the most consideration when determining the order of items? A. The ease of technical implementation for the development team. B. The personal preferences of the product owner. C. The business value, risk, dependencies, and urgency associated with each item. D. The historical velocity of the team in previous sprints. Answer: C. The business value, risk, dependencies, and urgency associated with each item. The product backlog is ordered based on maximizing the value of the product. This means the product owner must consider a multitude of factors, with business value, risk, dependencies, and urgency being paramount. Prioritizing high-value, high-risk items early can help validate assumptions and de-risk the project. For instance, a critical security feature, though technically challenging, might be prioritized highly due to its inherent business value and risk mitigation. Effective backlog ordering is about strategic delivery of the most impactful items first. Question 20. Which of the following is a key Agile principle that supports effective stakeholder engagement and ensures the delivered product meets evolving needs? A. Detailed project documentation at every stage. B. Fixed scope and strict change control. C. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. D. Centralized decision-making by the project manager. Answer: C. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. One of the core values of the Agile Manifesto is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This principle emphasizes that continuous, active engagement and partnership with the customer and other stakeholders throughout the project lifecycle leads to a more valuable and relevant product. Instead of rigidly adhering to initial contractual agreements, Agile teams prioritize ongoing dialogue to adapt to evolving needs. For example, holding frequent sprint reviews with key users helps gather early feedback and ensures the product truly addresses their problems. This collaboration fosters trust and responsiveness, ensuring the delivered product truly meets evolving needs. Question 21. An Agile team is working on a complex feature, and several team members are unsure about the best technical approach. What is the most appropriate action for the team to take to resolve this uncertainty quickly? A. Ask the product owner to define the technical solution. B. Conduct a detailed design upfront before starting any coding. C. Engage in a short spike or a prototyping exercise to explore options. D. Wait for a technical architect to provide a definitive solution. Answer: C. Engage in a short spike or a prototyping exercise to explore options. When facing technical uncertainty or needing to gain knowledge quickly, Agile teams often use a spike. A spike is a time-boxed research or exploration activity undertaken to gain knowledge necessary to reduce the risk of a technical approach or better understand a user story. For instance, a team might spend a day experimenting with a new API to determine its feasibility before committing to building a feature around it. This approach allows the team to explore options and mitigate risks without committing to a full implementation, making decision-making more informed and efficient. Question 22. What is the primary purpose of a definition of done (DoD) in Agile? A. To ensure all team members understand their individual tasks. B. To define what it means for work on the product backlog item to be complete and meet quality standards. C. To specify the criteria for when a project can be officially closed. D. To list all the features planned for the next product release. Answer: B. To define what it means for work on the product backlog item to be complete and meet quality standards. The definition of done (DoD) is a critical Agile concept, particularly in Scrum, providing a clear and shared understanding of what done means for an increment or product backlog item. It encapsulates all the quality criteria and tasks that must be completed for a piece of work to be considered shippable. For example, a DoD might include code reviewed, all automated tests passed, and documentation updated. Having a clear DoD ensures transparency, consistency, and builds quality into the product incrementally, preventing incomplete or low-quality work from being passed off as finished. Question 23. An Agile team decides to conduct a Sprint Zero at the beginning of their project. What is the most appropriate focus for a Sprint Zero? A. Delivering the first set of functional features to the customer. B. Intensive bug fixing and performance tuning for the entire system. C. Establishing foundational elements like team formation, initial backlog, technical environment setup, and stakeholder alignment. D. Completing all comprehensive project documentation and detailed requirements gathering. Answer: C. Establishing foundational elements like team formation, initial backlog, technical environment setup, and stakeholder alignment. While not a formal Scrum event, Sprint Zero is a common industry practice for initial project setup. Its most appropriate focus is on foundational activities that prepare the team and environment for subsequent development sprints. This includes forming the team, setting up the development environment, defining the initial product backlog, and ensuring key stakeholders are aligned. For instance, setting up version control, continuous integration, and defining an initial definition of done are typical activities. The goal is to create a solid foundation for sustainable and efficient development. Question 24. A team using Kanban notices that tasks frequently pile up in the testing column, creating a bottleneck. What is the most effective Kanban practice to address this issue? A. Add more developers to speed up the development column. B. Increase the work in progress (WIP) limit for the testing column. C. reduce the WIP limit for the development column or pull more developers into testing. D. Introduce a new expedite lane for urgent testing tasks. Answer: C. Reduce the WIP limit for the development column or pull more developers into testing. In Kanban, limiting work in progress, WIP, is crucial for managing flow and identifying bottlenecks. If tasks are piling up in testing, it indicates that the development column is completing work faster than testing can handle it. To address this, the team should either reduce the WIP limit for development to slow down upstream work or swarm the testing column by having developers assist with testing tasks. For example, if developers have finished their coding, they might shift focus to helping testers to clear the bottleneck, ensuring a smoother flow and preventing excessive inventory in one stage. Question 25. Which characteristic is most important for a servant leader in an agile context? A. Maintaining strict control over team activities and decisions. B. Empowering the team, fostering growth, and removing impediments. C. Prioritizing individual performance metrics over team collaboration. D. Ensuring adherence to a fixed, predefined project plan. Answer: B. Empowering the team, fostering growth, and removing impediments. Servant leadership is a key leadership style in Agile, where the leader's primary focus is on serving the needs of the team. This involves prioritizing the growth and well-being of team members, removing obstacles that hinder their progress, and empowering them to make decisions and take ownership of their work. For instance, a servant leader might help the team acquire new skills, resolve external dependencies, or facilitate discussions to improve their processes. This approach builds trust, fosters self-organization, and ultimately enhances the team's ability to deliver value.